What's up, DBS fam? It's your boy, Eddie St. Hilaire, coming at you live today with another episode. Let's see if we get our face. Alright, cool. We're good. We're in there. Hi, Mira. Look, who's that? Alright. What's up, guys? We back again. We have Momocon coming up, hosted by none other than the PPG this weekend in Atlanta, Georgia, on May 27th through 28th. It's going to be a really, really good event. Can I see that, please? Thank you so much. Being a bad girl on stream. Yeah. But yeah, it's going to be a fun time. It probably is the last event of the format. It's going to be really, really good. We're going to see some of the old decks that we've been seeing for a while. Let me go to Twitch real quick just in case people have questions, comments, and concerns. Y'all could put it up. I completely forgot how to pull this pop-up chat. Let me see. Chat. Alright, cool. Pop-up chat settings is on. Yeah. I expect to see a lot of the obviously everyone expects to see a lot of the older decks, right? But the thing that I think this format was missing was the correct array of yellow decks, right? So I guess we'll start off with that. Because the two most popular yellow decks currently at the moment being played by players is number one, Majin Vegeta, the starter deck Majin Vegeta, and number two, Golden Frieza, which to me is mind baffling, right? Because as solid as both those decks are, I think Yellow has the most playable decks in this current format, right? Because the two best Yellow decks, in my opinion, that are out currently are neither one of those decks. The two best Yellow decks in my format is to toss up between Yellow Trunks as well as the reboot starter deck Ape Goku. I like both of those decks. You want your iPad? I like both of those decks, and both of those decks provide a really good game-winning potential that Majin Vegeta as well as Golden Frieza doesn't provide, right? Because Golden Frieza, the two biggest things they have are Cold Bloodlust as well as their cooler and two energy after they play it on five. If you look at Modern Vegeta, in my opinion, is just a yellow aggro deck. I don't know if people just don't know how to play against it, and maybe that's why it's doing so well. The deck is solid, but in my opinion, the deck is nowhere close to being the best yellow deck. So this might be people are not used to yellow just being aggro, right? Full blown aggro. It's super super weird because Gamma off Rip Blue probably not probably does dome that deck, especially if they go first, because you're not gonna get to play anything because I'm sorry if you could hear my daughter's cartoons in the background because of the whole Unison and Android 18 counterplay. So you're just gonna be like saying null and void. But to top that off, any blue deck, realistically speaking, has access to the Cell Z battle card, which will border wipe you, and you really need that Goku to go off. I understand that deck is it's good because you can never go for a game off a battle card swing. Pretty much has to be the leader swing. If I'm not mistaken, it could be Unison swing too. Let me double check on that. But deck is so predictable, guys. Like so predictable. It's so bad. Like I'm sorry. If you're playing Yellow Trunks versus that deck, there's no way you lose. If you're playing Kid Goku, the starter deck A Goku, you guys knew me, right? For the longest, I said I didn't like that deck. This format, I do like it, and even better going into next format because that's one of the decks that'll be safe because it hasn't really been performing this format itself. Golden Frieza is solid, in my opinion. It's there's ways to counter. I just think people are overcoming in their ways to counter it. And then the Golden Frieza player is just saying, "Oh, thank you, you misplayed," and answering multiple threats in one. I'm not gonna put out any strategy because some of my teammates are playing Golden Frieza for this weekend. But I think that deck is solid, but I don't think I don't think it should be doing as well as it's doing right now over these other yellow decks. Moving on to red. Red pretty much has the two mainstay decks, right? You have the one star ball, in my opinion, which is probably the best deck in the format, hands down. Another thing too, I don't think people are playing that match correctly when they're playing a one star ball. Versus yellow, I know the biggest problem versus yellow right now is the fact that they do have access to like this new promo Shinron, right? The Shinron promo that costs two. That's pretty much going to negate whatever comes into play. Most likely your Omegas and stuff like that, your Secret Rare Vegetas. That's why I never played Secret Rare Vegeta, but kind of a hint to just stop playing that card because versus yellow, you're never going to get it off now, and you're just going to get bored at the very next turn because they'll be at 5. Yeah, just don't play that secret in your deck itself. For the 1 star ball deck, right? The secret that I've been playing for the longest, I don't think it's a secret. Um, it should be Vermilion Bloodlines, guys. You wipe out the threats just like that. Let's say if you're going against Gamma with the Android 21 secret rare, you'll attempt to wipe it. It'll wipe the materials away. Or if you're attacking, you could super neg that thing and get it to 0. After that, it'll just drop the materials, and then from there, they attack you, Vermilion Bloodlines, and you'll get 3 cards off because you'll be playing red, yellow, and then blue, and then they're playing green. That's 4 cards you get to just it's gone, right? Really, really good, really, really solid. SS4 is good. SS4 is another deck. This is really, really good, but I don't know how it's doing that well. SS4 should thrive in a format where it was just like red, right? Because anything with blue, even yellow too, because you have to tap out at 4. Even yellow, you realistically stop it and what they're trying to do. Because if you're playing yellow, and let's say if you're playing one of the decks I was talking about, which was the Reboot Ape Kid Goku, they could never really swing with their leader efficiently. Because if they swing with their leader efficiently and release from Evil It, they'll start playing those guys, and all those Saiyan guys, all they're doing is just getting a draw one effect because you can no longer combo it from the battle area in rest mode. You see what I'm saying? Things like that, which I'm super confused when I look at the meta spread. The Gamma, I can see Gamma is really, really solid and really, really easy to pilot, but then there are other decks that's super, super dome Gamma. Shout out to our boy Jared, who's been dominating you guys with Gamma. But I'm looking at it, I'm like, he's just a better player, guys, because yeah, Gamma, Gamma should be doing well as it's doing, in my opinion. Even though it's super easy to pilot and it's a really, really good deck. I'm not saying that it's not good. The deck has answers when you play these other top tier decks, right? Specifically the 1 star wall deck. SS4 I can see how you can get there because by the time they're going off, you're going off, you have things access to things such as Dirty Burst and stuff like that. But the 1 star ball should just clean the floor with Gamma just like that. Another red deck that I've been playing a lot. You guys probably seen I uploaded a video of this morning. It's Vegito. Vegito cleans that deck so super super easily. Like if anything were to happen to both SS4 and 1 star ball, Vegito would be the next in line, right? Vegito is really really good because you still have access to the card that neither of those two decks have, which is Vegeta Resolve Renewed. Vegeta Resolve Renewed is super super powerful, super super good because you can play it in a red or not a red but a Vegito deck, which just so happens to be this set to Reboot Vegito, which is really really good because they follow up with things such as 35k triple strike barrier deflect guys that are just going ham. And if you're playing yellow, which you should be playing yellow, you have access to things such as all mine resistance. Another cool tech too, not only you have access to things such as all mine resistance, if you don't want to play yellow, right? That's okay, cool. You don't like the yellow version because it's too much. I don't know why you wouldn't, because you have access to things such as the Whis counter attack. If you're not playing yellow, you have access to this cool card named Explosive Demon Wave. Hopefully I didn't say that card name right. It's from Invoker, right? Shout out to our boy Legends. It's an old Invoker tech, which is as the Piccolo with like his hands going forward. It costs 3. It's pretty much a battering for things such as not extra cards though, but if they use things such as repose, such as anything like that while you're attacking, it's pretty much a battering. And if somehow you don't win off that attack, you get to untap an energy at the end of your turn. So it really costs 2. But it's going to be a game because obviously you're going to be swinging with a 35 triple strike deflect barrier threat, which is already 2 super cons they have to give you, and you're dumping your entire hand on it because you just cooler them for 3, I guess you can say. Another deck that's really, really good, really, really solid. What's up, Card Games TV? Black Sun Demon, what's up, man? It's been a while. Yeah, it's been a while. I just decided to jump on because, like I said, I'm free now. I can finally do these talks with you guys. I was off yesterday and today. I go back for another 4 straight days before being off for another 2 days. So, just want to give you guys some heads up and stuff. I know it's late in the game. The format's going to change, but I do want to help the people for this weekend. So, like, if people wanted to jump in and just ask questions for this weekend, I got you guys. I've been playing a lot since I've been done. I finished the academy like 3 weeks ago, so I've been playing a lot and just seeing these decks. Like I said, the most underrated deck in my opinion currently right now in this game, in this current format, is the Reboot starter deck Goku. deck, right? I'll just tell you straight up, deck's insane. You have infinite blockers, and they have the best access to cooler secret, right, in my opinion. Like it's completely insane. Another deck that does the same thing but similar is Trunks, right? The only difference why I kind of slightly like the reboot Ape Goku over Trunks is the fact that one is very, very, very efficient with Unisons, aka the reboot Ape Goku, and Trunks isn't. Trunks, you can do it, but it's not efficient. It's not as smooth. It's not as fluent, right? With Goku, you can, because even if you're going against a deck right now, currently one star ball, which just completely wipes out Unisons, you're still golden. Because even if you have no Unisons, you slap the Gohan down for three, you're gonna start popping cards, and they can't stop that because they're gonna give it barrier because they don't want you to play another Bulma in order to play explosive in order to pop their guy. So they're gonna give it pair. So you'll just take away two cards with one and just slap the three drop. But more than that, you have things such as free release from evil cards like that. Your extra card lineup is different in the starter deck reboot Ape Goku and Trunks as well. The starter deck reboot Ape Goku, I don't really play like any negates. I don't play any negates relatively speaking. 'Cause I have a handful of blockers, and you're not going to push through that, right? Whereas the starter deck, not the starter deck, the yellow Trunks reboot deck, I do play negates. But not playing negates in the starter deck reboot Ape Goku allows him to play more things such as T-Lows, release from evils, and things like that in the main deck without losing proficiency. Because you also have cards such as your Bulma one drop. You guys can tell I've been playing this deck a while now. Yeah, also have cards such as the Bulma one drop that when you switch out to rest mode, you get if you have an extra card in your hand that you don't need, like let's say I don't know, you would need it because you're playing a best of one pre-side event, right? So you're not gonna have any dead cards. But let's say okay, cool, you're tapped out, or the card you have a T-Low in your hand, you know it's gonna be useless right now because you tapped them out, whatever the case may be, or the pulse really won't stop you because you have a cooler in your hand. You can rest your Bulma. After you rest the Bulma, you can use its ability to restand itself and draw a card by discarding one. So you would discard whatever extra card or dead unison that you have in your hand, draw a card, get your Bowman back, so it's an extra 5k combo. Your leader on your turn can also activate battle, give you an extra 5k as well. Like, it's a lot of cool, nifty stuff I don't think people realize you can do with Reboot Goku this format. Um, those are like my two. I would say the one star ball two is my another underdog deck. It's not that it's an under. You're gonna say, hey, you're crazy. Like this deck's insane, right? Yes, it's insane, but in my opinion, it's been underperforming because I've been seeing way too many other decks that are winning, such as the SS4 matchup. That SS4 matchup flipped a while ago. Like the SS4 matchup should be cleaned by the one star ball. Before it was pretty much impossible for the one star ball to compete with that. But in my opinion, now it's completely different. Black Sun Demon said thoughts on OCG having three of that green Gogeta in top 16. That's overseas, my man. You're not gonna do that at Gen Con. You're not gonna do that at let me rephrase that. Gen Con's gonna be a new format. I don't know what's gonna happen, but you're not gonna do that this weekend at what's his face at Momocon. I don't see that happening. Now, let me rephrase that. What those green Gogeta decks, I don't see that happening. Now, green Gogeta is a deck I was really, really looking into, really, really interested in, but not for the green Gogeta deck itself. For me, it was going to be to play some kind of green red variant because you playing a green red variant. If you look at the original, this is me just being in the lab again. The original Gogeta deck cards, the Goku, Veku, and Gogeta BR cards, those aren't color specific. So now if you're playing green red, you have clean access to things such as the Veku. That's what I was telling you guys last time. Versus decks I like to untap because you just strip that away, and it's barrier, right? So it's strong, it's protected. So you can't just secret identity away. You can't rest it with Power Super Saiyan and then attack into it. It's super protected because it does have barrier. It does cost one, but once again, that one is going to take you a long way because you're completely nullifying an opponent's stuff. You have access to obviously the Vegeta that grabs your super combo. You have access to free play Veku's, the skinny one that takes away like if you're attacking whatever the case may be, they hit your negate, you negate by 10. Cool. The highest one is 10. The yellow and blue ones are 10, and then the green and red ones are 5. So you completely get around that. Around pesky cards, you can use the Fat Veku to attack into a battle card, or just have a free 15k body just to swing, right? You have a lot of access into things like that. So I do think eventually Green Gogeta, whether you're using a red leader or the green leader, is going to be a hybrid of the both green and red. It's just how I see it's going to happen. eventually. I still like the red one. That's another deck too. I don't see it a lot, which is super super weird to me. Is the red Gogeta BR deck. That's another really really good deck that's just gone. And you see other decks such as, I don't know, like you just see random stuff topping, man. It's not random. Like you can tell the meta's gonna be right. Like you can tell the Majin Vegeta is a really really popular deck because a lot of decks are running can run away with not playing expensive cards such as post floodgates because you're just going aggro, you're going to the dome, right, trying to go for the win because you just slap your aggro in, you can play 48 negates and you're good. Because when you awaken, you take yourself down to 5, and you just hope you win by then. They're playing the Golden Frieza. Golden Frieza, pretty much, people aren't realizing that the more battle cards you play, the harder it's gonna be for you because they're not, especially if you're playing 1 star ball, because they're not gonna attack your leader and they're just gonna attack into battle cards, killing your hand, not realizing that Cooler is gonna come down and destroy you. Because now the only thing you can do against Cooler if you're red is gonna be, well, in the 1 star ball specifically is just V rays. Um, Another really good reason why, if you're playing the 1 star ball, once again it should be red yellow because you have things such as Dragon Thunder, which will eat the first attack, but it's stunned, right? The Cooler will just stop on its dead still right then and there. It'll also be a single strike because it's just a final flash pretty much. Versus decks such as, I don't know, any other yellow deck, you're still good too because you have things such as Death Blaster. So it's really, really hard for them to just willy nilly try to do anything against you when they're at 5, as long as you have 2 open. The Sin promo is a really, really strong card. Like it's probably the best card we've had printed in a while. Like hands down, without a question. There's no way to compare it. I even looked at playing the other Yellow Sin, but I'm like, the problem with the other Yellow Sin is you don't have an efficient way to stop floodgates, right? Um, when you play it, it's fine, but it's just hard to stop the floodgates. Like, yes, you don't really care because you're playing with 30k. So if someone hits you with an Android 16 or Android 17 defending friends, whatever that card is called, the floodgate, you guys know what I'm talking about. Yeah, cool. You'll bottom deck one and you'll just swing with another 30k. That's what I used to do with Dark Broly, right? That math adds up. But when you have things that are not just that 30k, that's when it's like, ugh, I'll get on pass. But it's another good. That's another deck I've been looking into as well because you can specifically just go from the 1 drop into the 4 drop, which is wild to me, like super super wild. Because what I would do is if I'm going first and I know I have no threat of anything, I would just go into the normal plays, right? Play my 1 star ball, go into the 4 drop, and then going into the 9 drop. And if anything happens to the 9 drop, now you have your 1 star ball. And that 1 star ball, now you have the option of going to the 4 drop to go into 9 drop again, or if they respawn, you just go into the promo, and the promo has deflect and barrier, just in case they're trying to, what I'm saying, be a little risky. I guess you get to say. It's another deck I've been looking at too, but I didn't really get to play it because of that reason. I'm like, I don't really want that effect where it's like, hey, I'm floodgated, and now I don't care if it's a floodgate, but I'll swing in bottom deck one because I just didn't get to that point to test it yet. But it's another good deck. That deck completely swallows Red Sin, by the way. Yellow Sin is crazy. Like, it's mind baffling how like 9 and 8 that matchup is. At the set, I believe it came out in set 10. Set 10 Sin destroys the 1 star ball deck, the red 1 star ball deck. Like, it's wild how crazy good that matchup is. Versus other decks, it's just you guys play the deck. You guys know how it is. Really, really good. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I really don't. I can see a world where, well, for a fact you live that long game with Sin. I could even see a world where Sin is like, okay, cool. Yeah, I may not be able to stop floodgates, but on turn 5, I'm gonna slap Cooler. I'm gonna destroy your hand. You're gonna have to floodgate me, or I'm gonna kill you for the game. And then, say if you do floodgate me, you just lost a card, right? And on turn 6, I tap 6. Now I have Cooler, and I have an army of dragons, shadow dragons, just looking to slap you in the face. That was that rant for that. Moving on to blue decks. So blue is pretty much being carried right now by the Android 21 Seeker. That Seeker is busted, guys. Gamma is busted right now because you can straight search it from your deck, and you're gonna find it, like, hands down. If it's not in your life, you're gonna find it. If it's not close to the bottom of your life, because you do take life in that deck, you instantly go down to 6, right? And then you're gonna start taking a couple of hits to 5 to 4, whatever the case may be. But if that Secret Rare is in your deck, say less, fam. It's gonna get you there. Even the Android 21 deck The new one is really really good too. I do like the new Android 21 leader versus the starter deck or the older Android 21 leader, only because you get to use your opponent's battle cards. It's really really good. A lot of times I was playtesting and then they were using the other leader, and I'm like, damn, if they were using a new leader, it would have been like a close matchup because you could at least try to cheat in your secret to get this life. But the way I'm going right now, it's just you have to find the fastest route of avenue in order to be the best aggro deck, meaning you have to, like on turn two, turn three, do your best to inflict like damn near 8 to 10 to 12 points of damage, or you gotta be the best defensive deck, saying, hey, I'm gonna get to the X point and I'm gonna drop cooler on you. I'm gonna win through that because I'm just gonna out resource you. I feel like that's where the game is right now, especially with the way the Android 21 secret is. It's you gotta beat them to the punch on that, or you got to say, okay, cool, you'll have that, right? But then in my back pocket, I have my cooler secret rare, which is going to out resource all the value you got from your 21 secret rare. That's just how I see the game right now. Green is still it's iffy for me. There's still some green matchups, but the thing is, the green decks that I've been playing, anyways, they're really really unison reliant, and the ones that aren't unison reliant, the one star ball just that's the problem with green right now, in my opinion. It's just that one deck is the one star ball. That one star ball deck versus green is just it's not fun. It's not fun at all, man. Especially like it's just not fun. I don't even know how to describe it. Like it's not fun playing whatsoever. But there's some solid green decks, especially that next green Gohan that we have. It's really really solid, really really good. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, it's gonna have the same problem. If one star ball stays the way one star ball is, it's still gonna have that same problem, which is yeah, you can't really play green decks currently. Even hand destruction decks like that, right? It's like you can maybe sneak in. But then if you're going against one star ball and they start with like 11 cards in their hands and they're pitching stuff that they really can't use, like they have multiple copies of Gohan, it's not doing anything because you're saying, okay, cool, I'm doing this, and they're just going to keep swinging to the dome, and there's no way for you to stop it. What color do we talk about? Talk about red, blue, green, yellow, black. Ooh, fun times, black. Black has just been, I guess, like that. I don't want to say what I was going to say because it's not politically correct. But it's been that sibling where doesn't get the most attention, but that sibling is low key fire, right? Because Black has a way to naturally put out damage and aggression, while those aggression slash damage pieces also serve as floodgates, such as BMS, such as the True Fighting Spirit, either the Goku or the Vegeta, cards such as those, right? Now, the beauty about Black is they're super easy to offend and to reoccur. So if you do take those cards out, you have plethora of ways to either defend it or reoccur it with Power Burst. You can just pick it back up and you replay it again. The other two have the both True Fighting Spirits have deflect. BMS, you can just pick it up and you can just play it again. Um, Cumber. I seen Cumber play my boy Mikey. Mike, shout out to him. He that's the deck he plays versus me, right? It's super super solid. The thing I noticed about Cumber, the benefit and advantage that it has is that it does have a fat hand size, which is that hand size is insane. But unfortunately for Mike, most of the times we played against each other. I've been playing Vegito Set 2 Vegito Reboot. So every time he has his food, right, I just bottom deck it. That's why that deck is also really, really good. Set 2 Vegeta. I did mention that. That matchup versus the Cumber deck is not really fair. But I think he got me when I was playing Trunks. Because I think he caught me once out of all the games we played. Because he played Cooler Secret. I didn't see that one coming. I think he got me off that one time. But the other times I played him was with the SS2. He didn't get that far because I just could kill his hands. Because that 35 triple strike deflect barrier is just too powerful, man. Follow, especially when I have two open. Because the thing about that deck, right? If you have any floodgates, anything whatsoever, that's fine. It's a barrier deflect guy that you can't get away. Because if you're blue, the one out you have to get that barrier guy away is Beerus Area Annihilator. But then if you tap two, I'm tapping one to just play Vegeta Resolve Renewed and looking at you like, yeah, you're dunzo. Like you're dunzo. So you're not gonna really touch my barrier threat, right? Um, and then the follow up turn, I'm just gonna play the secret rare. If I have energy, I'm just gonna play the secret rare, and that's it. Or if you have multiple stuff open, I'm just gonna play the secret rare and set you up and tap you out. Or if I don't have the secret rare and I'm like, okay, cool, you only have 1 to 2 energy, whatever the case may be, I'm just gonna swing with my 8 drop that you couldn't out because it's barrier deflect. 35 triple base, and when you do anything, it's an almighty resistance, and then go for a game from there. Really, really good deck. If anything does happen to red, even if the format just changes, if nothing happens to red, but then other decks start to shift off in a way, it's still really, really good and really, really fire. So going back to black, um, on those aggression pieces also serving as floodgates, and pretty much an answer to the current meta decks. You also have, besides Cumber, I would venture to say, some weird kind of fashion between the popularity for Black Kai, but it's just not being played. Me personally, I never played Black Kai. I seen Black Kai played a while ago. My boy Julian Rodriguez used to play it. The way he played it, I really liked it and enjoyed it because the first four hits or three hits were all critical hits that you couldn't really answer unless you were just giving them cards. So essentially, what it turned into was early game hand destruction unless you were taking criticals. And if you were hand destruction early game, he had things later game such as his Stortings and a bunch of 30Ks are just gonna swing at you like crazy, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. Um, Maybe I'll venture into looking at that to put a deck profile out for you guys. If you guys are interested, just let me know. But I like the way he started the game off every single time because I believe it was the Gohan, if I'm not mistaken. He did something to where he searched cards. After he searched cards, it would be those critical pieces. Those critical pieces would overwhelm. I think mill two, draw him one, and then he would awaken, overwhelm again, and then have two criticals and not even have to swing a leader and just pass. It was the stuff he was doing was just nasty. I'm like, yo, this is super annoying. So I may venture into doing that deck build if you guys are interested. But yeah, black is just in a weird place right now. Mega Cabrera, I know Mega Cabrera just had that secret rare and also have some low key heat that came out for it, right? Mega Cabrera is another solid deck. But the thing about Mega Cabrera, once again, I don't think you can play Mecha Bear versus the speed of the one star ball the way it's going. I think one star ball by itself just eliminates a lot of decks and a lot of potential that those decks can have because it's just way too fast. You have to be playing a super, I guess, a super meta deck that can just pivot on the spot, such as Gamma or something, to not take those kind of hits early game to set yourself up for a better later game and to survive it. Because if you can play a deck like that and survive the onslaught as the Kenki is going on, it becomes a struggle for them. So I guess that's what you can say about that. Um, Other than that, what I expect to see at top tables this weekend is probably the same old, but it's probably too late right now, right, to test those decks I'm talking about, such as that set two Vegetos, because I do believe right now set two Vegetos is in a prime place to do very well at that event, especially if it's a handful of Gammas or if it's a handful of Dissension. Anything really, a deck is really, really solid. I'm trying to think the decks that I struggled against are the weird decks, like the decks that you just probably just don't see anywhere. Those are decks, but the meta decks itself, if you sit against Gamma, if you sit against One Star Ball, if you sit against those meta decks versus SS2, you're fine, you're in the running. But it's when you face those non-meta decks or those decks that you don't expect, and when you tend to struggle because it's like, man, why are you playing this? Because literally, if I was one star ball instead of Vegito, you get the floor right with you. But luckily for you, we're both playing anti-meta, and then like you're gonna have that matchup. It's weird when I play that deck. Like I play versus Trunks, I play versus Gamma. The Gamma, I keep saying Gamma because Gamma is the easiest one, right? Because all their floodgates are easily answerable or easily answered by resolving you. And it's the funniest thing ever because you can say, oh, okay, cool, that's it, right? Even if you're going against yellow, right? If yellow sits there and reposts you, it's just like you honestly don't care. You don't even respond to repost because all you do at that time and point is swap out your 30k, 35k triple strike barrier guys, and you would put the dual attack 30k critical guys instead. The reason being is because okay, cool. If I swing with my 30k critical dual attack, right? You repost that, I don't care. My leader doesn't draw and swing. My one drops don't draw and swing. So I can either rest my leader, or worst case scenario, rest my leader, swing again without a 30k. That's now double strike because it's the second time. Or I can just swing at my leader and just say, okay, cool, rest whatever other one drop I have on board, and then dump a Collector of combo power into it because it is a double strike. Really, really good, really solid, especially when you're resting your one drops, right? Because if you rest your one drop Goku and rest your one drop Vegeta, you can just say, okay, cool. I use those guys as like just fodder to get around your floodgate. So now I'm just gonna go over and then Union Patar and restand the threat, which is like, oh damn, I didn't even see that coming, and it's really really good in that aspect. I'm trying to think of another low key good deck. For red, I'll just say one by color. Red, 100% is set to Vegito. For blue, the blue deck I think would super thrive in this format. I'll get back to you on that. 'Cause I think it's a combination between three. That I didn't test it, so I don't like to say names like that. Red, I have tested set to Vegito. You guys have seen gameplay. For let's work our way back. So I got red set to Vegito. Yellow is 100% reboot starter deck Goku, the ape one. For black would 100% be Cumber. I mean, I think Cumber is just the play, right? There's a lot of stuff to that deck, which I just don't think people fully grasp it yet. For green, the green deck that I did my best to make was two of them. There was the draw six, the draw until you have six cards in your hand, the Broly and the Cell, right? 'Cause I think Cell has legs, but the problem with Cell is you have to slow down the early game because the issue with Cell is it was just one server. I ain't gonna lie to you. When I played it, I said I'm not gonna play it no more. Every other deck was fine. As much as SS4 draws, I was fine against that. It was literally legit just a one star ball deck. Because Cell has access to Champa, which other decks don't. You have access to a searchable Champa. And you could keep making your leader double strike critical, which is completely insane with that Android card. And not only can you make your stuff double strike critical, you can also drop a Cell's Kamehameha to say this attack is going to go through. Because if it doesn't go through, that attack does one of two things, right? If it doesn't get negated, that attack does one of three things. It gets negated, so they lose a card from their hand. It doesn't get negated, so now it's going to be there's 20 base because you use the effect. It's going to be 30 from the double strike, and it's going to be 45 from the Cell's Kamehameha. So now you just turn into a hand destruction deck because you're going to lose infinite cards trying to get out that attack. Or you just double strike crit on two cards. It's really, really good, really, really potent deck that I find a lot of joy in playing with it. It's not fun for your opponent whatsoever. It's really, really solid. Once again, as you guys can hear me say, the blue deck that I wanted to test, but I just haven't got around to it yet. I want to make something with that reboot Trunks deck, but the reason why I stopped and I said I'm not gonna do anything to it yet is because I'm just waiting for the next format to come out. I don't really want to invest in it, and it's like, well, did all this work and it's just not there yet, right? But besides that deck, right now, if you don't feel like playing Gamma, if you don't feel like playing, even if you don't feel like playing Gamma, if you're playing a blue deck, just play Gamma. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. You guys know I'm straight up with you guys. If you don't like it and you're playing blue, play Gamma, bro. I don't care if you don't like it. If you're trying to win, if you want to be successful. All right, we're back. We're back. We're back. It says we're back. Sorry about that. We're probably getting wrecked because of we're getting wrecked because we're giving information out. So back to what we were saying, right, guys? If you're gonna play these decks, if you're gonna play a blue deck and it's not Gamma, you're just fighting an uphill battle. There's other good blue decks as well. Another good blue deck that I like is the Soul Striker. Soul Striker. There's ways to play Soul Striker. There's also ways to play Golden Frieza that people aren't playing with, right? People are in love with the Yamcha, but the way I would play Golden Frieza, you guys know me. I hate just tapping and passing. I like to attack. Even in Trunks, I like to attack. That's why I play the TP. That's why I play the TP Vegeta, because I like to attack and better put pressure. But the way I would play Golden Frieza, if I was playing Golden Frieza, I would load up with 8. I would take out all 4 Roshis and I would load up with 4 Self Awakeners. I lied. 8 Self Awakeners. I load up with 4 Krillins and I load up with 4 Gokus. They're the one drops that you can take a life and then you gain 15k critical and you swing, right? Now the beauty of those things are yellow cards, 0 5Ks, self awakening yourself. You're putting damage on your opponent where it's okay. You're losing cards from your hand or you're taking critical. Now on the flip side, when you pass your turn, when you swing, you're gonna swing into a repose because I use Frieza's army to untap one, and I'm gonna have one extra card in my drop, and I'm gonna have an extra card in my energy. So when you swing now, in order to out my critical guy, you're literally gonna have to pay the tax to do it, which is going to be super unfortunate for you, because once I get to about turn two or turn three ish, that one drop, that two drop sin is going to come out. So now it's protecting your stuff while I'm still self awakening and I have a blocker. You see what I'm saying? Like things like that. It's just the way people are deck building. Like sometimes people, like, it's fine to look at other people's decks, and I'm all for that. But sometimes I feel like people lack the creativity, or alright, I'm just gonna say it. People are just lazy. They rather just take the deck list and play it versus just saying, "Yo, you know what? This deck list is a fine, good shot. I like it, but I'm gonna look into it and try to make it even better." It's like if you guys see my set two Vegito deck list, the one that was doing well at Nats, right? I literally just looked at the deck. I'm like, all right, cool. Why are we playing the four drop Vegito still? The four drop Vegito that takes out that brings out two targets at a time. Yamcha was still at four. I'm like, why are we playing it? It's just gonna get Yamcha away. Why not just cut it? Focus on your one drops, and now treat the five drop Vegito as an overall over your one drops. Things like that. You got to improvise, adapt, and overcome. And I think people are just improvising by finding these deck lists, and they're not adapting to overcome the future meta. Because once that list comes out, I think the thing that people don't realize is people see the deck shell and they know what to expect. So now you got to hit them with the unexpected, because if they know what to expect, they're game planning for you, and it's going to be rough. So it's things like that I think separates me from a deck builder from a lot of other people. So when you play me, it's always off the wall. You can see the leader, but I promise you, on the day, when I play my one star ball, you don't know what's coming unless you play me multiple times. You don't know what's coming. You're probably like, okay, cool, this is what he's gonna do. It's like last time, right? I don't know if you guys were tuned in last time. Last time, I apologize, I didn't have the mic. I have the mic now. I have the headphones now. Last time we were talking about the one star ball deck, and I think Juha, he's really good at the deck, right? But you can see how our train of thoughts are completely different. Like how he was talking about the four drop sin, right? I'm like, I mean, the deck is fine. The thing is good, but for him, he would just drop it and swing. That's what equivalence that's what equates to pressure in his eyes and successfulness. For me, that's not what equivalents to success in my eyes. Because if I do that without really without just thinking, just because that's how players play, that's how the one star ball starts to struggle, because people are going to pick up on that, and the good players are just not going to swing into your leader. They'll swing into your battle card. So a lot of times, what you see me do is I'll just play the Nova, I'll swing with the Nova, use the ability. Damn, she just fell asleep on me. I'm dead. That's how players do too when you're playing the one star ball deck. No lie, if you're playing it just willy nilly, they fall asleep because they know how to answer. It's like okay, cool, you're doing that. Answer, and you're like, oh damn, he had to answer. Like, why play like that? Why not be proactive and then make him have an answer that he's not gonna have because he's expecting you to do one thing? Like for me, a lot of times I play the Nova, attack with the Nova. They're sitting there waiting for the four drop, right? I just neg the neg the Nova from my leader. Oh, excuse me. I play the Nova, attack with the Nova, use my leader to attack. Now, okay, cool. Here comes the four drop that they do. He's gonna pop the Nova, get another swing. I'm like, nah. I just use my leader to neg the Nova, draw a card, and pass. Now my Nova is restood. My Nova didn't get really touched because they were waiting to use their card on my four drop, and I have one open for a Gohan. It's things like that that separate um your deck building knowledge as well as player experience during tournaments, because you start to be successful because players weren't expecting that. Especially now, it's at its height because it is best of one pre sideboard. So you have one game to figure out that strategy, or it's a wrap for you. I mean, that's pretty much it. I just want to do a quick like little get together and talk to you guys just to see what's up, man. It's been a while, and help you guys out for these events coming up, because I know a lot of people are going to Momocon. I don't have my ticket. Probably not gonna go unless like the ticket comes super cheap. I waited too long. I am off this weekend, unfortunately, which is the unfortunate part if I don't go. But we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. Other than that, if you guys don't have any questions, comments, or concerns, hope to see you guys really soon. I'm gonna book Gen Con 100%. So that one you 100% see me at. Atlanta, I'm not sure yet, because I'm not sure if I want to drop the wallet on a ticket for Atlanta. But there's gonna be really cool pricing over there, because the participation you get at in real life regionals aren't the same that you get in online, right? You get for sure guaranteed cards when in real life regionals, as well as the promotional cards that you get for bringing friends to by bringing friends to these events. She's passed out, so I'm not gonna say any longer. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope to see you guys again next time. Please subscribe and leave in the comments down below what you want to see next. And I got you guys. Love you guys. Deuces.